All right, what we're going to go over is overhead summary report, and we're basically going to come up with our overhead percentage from this chart that I've created here and plugged in some numbers already. At the top here, and mind you, this overhead summary report is something that all contractors need. And I think us starting out as contractors, especially new contractors and some seasoned contractors, really do not know their overhead percentage. What number do they tack on to every job that they need to have? What is that percentage, right? Now, initially, what was great, what would be great if you already knew, your average sales, right? Every month, if you knew that, if you had a history, if you already had, you know, some numbers on the books, then you can predict that number a little bit more. Okay, if you've been in business for a long time, then you kind of know or you should know your average overhead percentage amount. Okay, what it varies from. Okay, from the amount of work that you bring in and when that work comes in. Okay, then you can kind of get an average amount, and that amount is what you'll plug into your estimating system, or if you got Excel spreadsheet, something that you'll share and plug into that Excel spreadsheet for every estimate that you do. But for the ones that don't have that information, what we're going to rely on is predicting, right? Construction is big. This is what it's based on, is predicting. Predicting on the trends, predicting on where the market is going. If you can predict right and get your company in a position to where they will succeed, you can make the right moves at the right time, get involved in the right type of projects at the right time, then definitely you're going to set yourself apart and be even more successful. Other than that, then you'll just follow the trends as they currently happen, and you'll stay behind the buck, and that's the way you grow your business. Not to say that you'll fail, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. So predicting, right? What are we going to predict here? Let's see here. So if you notice here, I already have some sales numbers plugged in here. Once again, it's called the overhead summary report. Overhead summary report. We called the company Finished Top Construction Company. Finished Top Construction Company. I came up with that today on the fly right now. All right, so we're going for January 1st, 2018. Happy New Year's. Let's see if you can get your overhead percentage down to where you can actually compete out here in this market for 2018. It's a shitload of work out there. Excuse my language. It's a lot of work out there. Okay. All right. So what we got here is first column here. We got rent. Rent at $1,500. Now, mind you, all these numbers are calculated at a monthly amount. So if you got yearly amounts for your numbers, you want to break them down to a monthly amount. Okay, you could plug in your notes here. You can add if you wanted to complicate this a little bit or structure it differently, you can add year, month, week, day for certain items that you want to plug in here. You can actually use the sheet for other things as well. Right? You may want these numbers to tell a different story than what I have plugged in here. So first item here, we got up here rent. Next one, we got the Dunn's number. Everybody know what Dun and Bradstreet is, okay? We got $50 in there. We got another item here for ASSTA renewal. That is a online. This overhead summary report was this is actually from an actual company that I manage. It was a traffic control company out of California, San Diego. This company I manage, so these are close to accurate numbers here for what we had. Some of them are one or two I see is a little bit low, than the actual numbers, but we're going to go ahead and move along with these numbers here. All right, so ASSTA renewal. This was an actual online training program for all the traffic control technicians that they log in and make sure they complete all their safety courses and things like that. So that covered the overhead costs and not direct job costs, right? We also got the DIR renewal. The DIR renewal for the ones in California here, you guys know that we pay a certain amount to be able to bid on public works jobs. And you have to have a DIR number now, and you have to be registered. So that number has probably went up since then. Pro safety. Pro safety is another safety training online system that we have for these guys. The first one, ASSTA, is more of a quick online test that these guys can take when we hire them on to really do an assessment of what they know. But the pro safety here, until we can develop that for the initial stages of new employees, we have that pro safety. That's that continual education. They take courses throughout their employment. We track the courses that they take, and I'm bringing down what each of them, is. I'll glance over a few of them, but just so you understand what's covered in this overhead costs and why it's here. So PR budget, and that's dealing with coffee mugs or any flyers or any events or different type of things that we want. And it's a small number there. We didn't do a lot of PR stuff. We already had our client base. We were on a contract base. So we did a little bit of PR stuff maybe toward the end of the year. So that was $200 allocated for that. Safety vests. Spent about $85 a month on safety vests. We had to keep buying safety vests. We got to supply them for new employees. And then also we supplied safety vests for any of them that got damaged, dirty, just worn. We replaced them for the employee. Shop budget. Shop budget was anything that they may need, tools and things like that. Because our shop didn't work on a lot of the heavy equipment, and you'll see a list of heavy equipment below, or somewhat, I wouldn't call skisters heavy equipment, but it's just construction equipment, light equipment. Shop budget, anything that they may need for tool wise. They're giving $100. Now that number can go up next month. That number, that's what we see it as an average. We already got the bulk of everything that they need back there. DUNS number 177. I think why we got 2 here is we went up on our plan. Price started at a cheaper plan, then went up to a different plan. So we got 2 line items here. We can actually combine those 2, but right now we're just going to leave them there. Okay. Fuel. Now, fuel, you may say, hey, anytime you do an estimate and you got trucks, you want to include a percentage of fuel for those trucks for a particular project. But this fuel is for owners and management. Okay, we want to cover their fuel and their vehicles in here, but we mainly just have the fuel there, and that's dealing with the owners on this. They have fuel cards to get around and drive around, so we have an allowance in there for $5,000 to cover that. First insurance. First insurance covers a insurance on some vehicles. On some heavy equipment vehicles that we purchased, some backhoes. Allied insurance is also insurance that covers equipment. Now this is 2 different purchases from 2 different manufacturers, so that's why we have the 2 insurances there under both. And health insurance, that number should actually probably go up. Okay, we're going to bump that up to 830. So we say health insurance for the employees we have working in the office. Okay, that's That's what we say we're going to be paying per month. Okay. CDTA drug testing. This is anytime you're working for large entities out here in California, you have to show that you're doing some type of drug testing. So they do our drug test policy program. And then we also get our drug testing through them as well. Loan payment to bank, took out a loan, we got to pay back the bank. So that's the amount that we got to pay back to the actual bank that we need to make sure we capture every month. Start capital loans, another loan we took out for some equipment a while back. So we got to pay another loan off. We also got some OCCM. And this is what we provide as far as monies to other companies outside of our company that we put into to give back to our company in some way. Okay. Cat finance. So that's actually on a particular machine. That's only because we finance a cat Skister, a Skister 09. So that's what we pay for that Skister that we recently purchased. Okay. So below here, you see here, there's another column here. It says payroll with labor burden. So basically, everyone that's working in the office that's not working on any project directly will need to be covered under this payroll with labor burden. These numbers are actually their payroll with the labor burden added to it. Okay, whatever that percentage is for your labor burden, we'll do another class how to calculate your labor burden or how to figure out your labor burden shortly. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Look at me. I'm there right there, making 2,400. Got the lowest guy on totem pole right there, huh? Wow. All right, so we got Shelly at just over 4,000. Charmony at just over 2,900. Manny just over 5,000. Tyrone just over 2,400. Steve just over 3,000. Jimbo just under 2,500, and Robert a whopping 1,000,000, huh? Wow, we need to lower that guy down. He wasn't making that much. All right, so that makes more sense right there, right? Okay, so we plugged in those numbers there. So you may only have 2 people working in the office. You may only have 1 person. It may just be you. It may be no one, right? But that's who we have there plugged in there. And then these numbers up here too, you can, put these numbers in there. You may not have a list this long. You may only have 5 items here. Okay. Even if you're a small contractor there, you need to account for everything: paper, printers, because all that stuff eventually is going to need to be replaced or upgraded. So you need to account for everything that's including direct overhead. So you may only have 10 items here. You may only have 2 items there, but don't try to lump sum everything in there, okay? Break them down, put them into the columns, and put a cost to them, okay? And once again, you may not have a business to where you know those numbers there, okay? You may be trying to figure out what your overhead cost is going to be. If you were to have these things, then you need to predict what those numbers are going to be. Be realistic, okay? Even if you had employees, think about what you're going to be paying them and plug that number in there with your labor burden added on to it, okay? All right, so here, the sales item here, you can add different divisions in here, okay? You can add crews in here. You can add jobs in here. I have in here skidsters, backhoes, excavators, and that's what I have in here. I didn't decide to plug in our traffic control crews. I decided to plug in the skidsters here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did I get 10? 6, 7, 8. Right? There's 8 of them. 8 of them. We got 8 pieces of equipment here that we rent out each month as bare equipment. We don't put any operators with them, and this is what we make on that equipment each month for all these pieces of equipment. That's what we make. So it's a grand total of just over 25 grand. that we're bringing in sales for that equipment, okay? Now, I plugged in the number down here, traffic control, sales, services, and sales, right? So this one here, I plugged this number in here because I already had this number on what we did for traffic control services per month. I already know our average there. So we got 225,000 a month that we're doing the sales on that. If you see equipment rentals, that number comes from here. Okay, just over 25 grand a month. Another division, we're starting a retail here division where we're starting to sell that traffic control equipment and stands and things like that. And that's coming soon. That's why I have that plugged in there. But you may want to put something there. Maybe you're selling parts for equipment. Maybe you're maybe you're doing some type of other division that you want to account for here. Maybe you got a architect division. Maybe you have a drafting division that you want to put in here and plug in a number in here. Okay, so all total sales from all divisions is just over 250 grand every month, right? So all total sales, okay? That's just the sales of what we're making, okay? What we're bringing in total sales is 250,000. Up here, this is our operating margin, right? This is how much we need to bring in. Our operating margin is 48,000, just a little over 48,000 and a half, okay? 48,500, just under that, okay? So our total sales of it is 250,000, okay? Overhead direct costs, once again, that's that 48, okay? $48,436, okay? And our total sales, once again, that number is there. And it looks like our overhead percentage for this first quarter, and it may vary, okay? But our overhead percentage for this first quarter is 19.33, okay? It's 19.33. So that's the number we're going to use anytime we're doing any estimating. Down here, I got a lot of numbers that I plugged in from other competitors. This is us. This is another company that's around. This is another company, another company, another company, another company, or other companies. And you just, you're figuring out what their market share is and expected revenue, new products, and number of salespeople they got in the field. Okay, so and that just gives you an estimate of what your competitors are doing. Okay, quick little summary there. You don't actually have to be doing any of that, but our overhead percentage, our overhead cost is 19.33. Now, as a small company or as a company that has various amount of sales numbers, maybe it's up and down throughout the month, you may need to adjust this throughout the quarters. You may need to adjust it next month. You can be as tedious as that, where you're adjusting it each month according to where you're predicting you're going to be at, or according to past history of jobs. Where you're at. Maybe February you need to be at 25%. Which is pretty high. Or maybe in February you bring it down. In March you show something of 12%. We'll see there. Maybe you're picking up in sales and that number comes down, right? Because if you do pick it up in sales, let's see what the $8 grand to do, right? See, it brings it down. So the more work you got coming in, right, this brings it down, right? But this guy here, we plugged this guy in here, we went back up, so that's what you got to look at there. You play with these numbers, see where it's at. If you want a copy of this, make sure you email us. We'll definitely get you a copy of this spreadsheet that you can use and play around with and look at. And you have any questions, make sure you enter questions below. And once again, hey, you learned a lot from this. I'm trying to keep it a little short. You learned a lot from this. Make sure you leave us a comment. Just let us know, hey, Great video. Great job. We'll keep it coming. If you have any questions about any of our estimating classes that's coming up, make sure you check out our website. Any of our blueprint reading classes that's coming up, check out our website. We got estimating classes online. We're also coming out with estimating classes where you can actually, they're pre-recorded. You can actually purchase them for a low cost, watch them on your own time, learn from them, and apply them immediately. Apply the information that you learn immediately, the knowledge that you're going to gain. If you have any questions about starting your business, let us know. You're seeking to get your contractor's license, let us know. Here in California, we can help you do that. Okay, so thank you for your time. See you on the next one. Appreciate it.